Hi guys, and welcome to another surprise unboxing of the What You Want channel. Finally, I pulled the trigger. Actually, I think I used these words a couple of times in the last month, but I finally pulled the trigger and put a crown on an achievement, like the advertisement says. And I've bought what? Yes, I've bought my first Rolex, and I want to show you what you get when you buy a Rolex watch. And on some of my videos, I criticized the Rolex watches for delivering actually almost like cheap looking boxes. Of course, you're not buying the watch for the watch box, but I think it's part of the experience if you're putting a lot of money down for something that it is unnecessary, a luxury item. I think the company should also put some thoughts into the boxing. And actually my first thoughts I had about the packaging of the Rolex watches were actually, I can say, they were simply real. They were justified. I mean, the outer box, you have the crown and everything. When you open it, of course, I'm careful. I want to keep everything in good condition. You get this plastic, and then you have the actual watch case. It looks like wood, and it looks a little bit like leather on top here, but I think it's somehow plastic, and it's not of the best quality. I mean, for plastic probably yes, but I would expect something different, but it's just me. So what kind of watch did I buy? So TGV does some drum rolls, and we simply open the box. There it is. It's the Rolex Air King. It's a used model, and I was after one of these for, I think, almost 2 years, and I finally pulled the trigger. Maybe I got some fear of missing out regarding the often discussed discontinuation of this model. It has not been discontinued during Watches and Wonders, but maybe next year. The reason for that is that it was a watch that was inspired by a cooperation of Rolex and the Bloodhound Speed project. This was terminated a couple of years ago, so many people thought that this would lead to a discontinuation of this model. Maybe next year, who knows, but I really like that it's not your typical Rolex. It has well-known elements like the Mercedes hands and also the numerals in white gold from the Explorer, but it has also this minute indices like a pilot's watch. So it has some heritage to the Air King series. It has elements of the other sports models, the Submariner, the dive models, and also elements from the Explorer and the Datejust. So it's sporty, a little bit dressy, in between and not typical Rolex. Maybe some basic facts. The reference is 116900. It's stainless steel, of course, Rolex proprietary 904L steel. The water resistance is up to 100 meters, and the case dimensions are 14 millimeters in diameter, and the thickness is roughly 13 millimeters. The movement is the Rolex caliber 3131. It's cost certified superlative chronometer control to +2 -2 seconds deviation rate per day. I measured like 3 seconds, but this watch is also already almost 2 years old. It has a paramagnetic balance spring, and magnetic escapement components. Especially it has a soft iron case protecting the watch from magnetic fields. The case is the same Rolex uses on its Milgauss, and also the bracelet is very similar, apart from that the Milgauss has polished center links and a different clasp. Here the crown is like engraved and it does not stick out from the clasp. I really like this way more. It's more versatile, less dressy, and maybe a little bit more scratch resistant. I mean, at least you don't see scratches as obviously as on polished center links. I already had some scratches in it from desk diving. I mean, this happens. But actually, my first impression when I got this watch was, it's simply a watch. You know what I mean? It's a Rolex, and the Rolex has been on my list for a couple of years. But when it comes down, it's simply a watch. It's solid, it's well built, it's well known, but it's simply a watch. And to be honest, I think 50% of the buying experience, or 50% of the wish to get a Rolex, is because of the brand. There's nothing wrong about that. Don't get me wrong, they're making great watches, great quality, great history. But 50% is just the brand perception, at least in my case. I really appreciate what Hans Wilsdorf did here. He made something out of nothing, and also the name Rolex. It was randomly chosen because it sounded good in the most European languages, and it's an artificial name, and it's one of the most well-known, probably the well-known brand in the world. And this is something, an achievement which I appreciate. But I'm honest, there are other watches that are also very nice, but they are not a Rolex watch. So if people are honest, like 50% of buying a Rolex is buying a Rolex because it's a Rolex. So what else do we have in the box? We have this Rolex tag, and then you get this hidden place where you have your manual, your warranty card, and everything. And let me put the watch on the wrist. Today I'm wearing the Seiko SKX, which is 009, which weighs 10 grams less than the Rolex, so they're actually not that far apart. So here you have it on my 7-inch wrist, and it wears very comfortably. And it also have this Easy Link system, so just by a click you can extend the bracelet up to 5 millimeters and click it back in. It's just perfect in summertime if your wrist swells a little bit. And here you can see them side by side, the Air King and the 009. So this is just the initial impressions unboxing video of the Air King. I will give you a follow-up and extended review on the watch. Let me know, what do you think about the brand? What do you think about the Air King? Is it just like fear of missing out when people are buying this one, or is it actually a pretty nice watch? What is your opinion? Please subscribe to my channel, and see you on the next one.